The brand new Dragon Ball game Gekishin Squadra is the topic of controversy, whether it's about the customization in the game and how that stuff is not in Sparking Zero, or otherwise people commenting on how fun it is, how boring it is, how much content there isn't in the game, etc., and all these other expectations. So I took to Twitter to ask the community how they feel about the next upcoming Dragon Ball game. Again, Gekishin Squadra. No, this is not a mobile-only game. It's available on PC and consoles. So make sure you do check it out if you haven't already, and give me your opinions on the game down below about what you guys think the game does well and what it can improve on. And for you guys that play MOBAs religiously, let me know your opinion on this game relative to the others in the market. All right, let's go ahead and dive in, and we'll talk about my own opinions and some of the answers I got from you guys when I asked earlier today. Firstly, make sure you follow me on Twitter if you haven't already, so you can be a part of a video like this next time I do one, and I ask you guys your opinions on things like, well, Gekishin Squadra. We've got 44 replies. We're not going to get to everybody, but we're going to go through as quickly as possible. Naz says it feels like it still needs to cook a bit, especially with the endgame Uzaru mechanic, which is gone right now. Games can feel real one-sided because there's no real way to come back from a steamroll unless the other team actively throws. Yeah, that mechanic is funny because it's gone from the game right now, the grade 8 mechanic, the comeback mechanic, whatever you want to call it, because essentially it was working as intended. Yeah, literally, it was working as intended. It was providing a big boost to whichever side destroyed it and basically allowed for them to win the game. Now, you could maybe tone it down. I don't know if it needed to be removed entirely, and I would expect it to be in the official release once they're done fine-tuning it a bit further as well. But yeah, absolutely agree with Naz on that topic as well. Moving over to Goresh. Fun nonsense with friends. Right now it feels like something I'd hop on and play every 2 weeks or something if I have a team of people set up. Otherwise, I'm good. It feels very monotonous without some kind of dynamic system to build your character through the match. So I've seen people complain about the fact that there isn't as much customization in this game. They don't seem to have that same item leveling system. I can't really confirm or deny that, but the system that typically you see in MOBA games, there's not really any builds, things like that. Like it's pretty bare bones. That's one of the main sentiments I've seen from a lot of these replies. Like I said, we're not going to get to all of them, but that's one thing. And another thing is, because it's a MOBA game and it's a team-based game, you are largely at the mercy of your teammates, and sometimes teammates will go AFK, but above all else, teammates are going to be very bad. I myself am pretty bad, and particularly teammates if they are brand new to MOBAs, right? And that's going to be the case for a lot of people that play this game. For any long-time MOBA players, or even just people that play Unite religiously, let me know how often you still experience teammates that don't know what they're doing, like what their roles are, which lane they should be going down, if there's jungling, like if they should be even doing that. Like, let me know your experiences with that. But I'm pretty sure, like I said, since it's a team-based game, it's pretty bad across the board. And if Goresh is saying he's going to hop on once every couple of weeks, with the operative words being when he has a team of friends to play with, that's not great, right? If you can't feel confident to log into this game, let alone the frequency, but just log in without a party of your own, that's a problem. And that's the case, again, for all these team-based games. That's why a lot of these games have external ways to meet and greet with people. Like even this game, it's going to be cross-platform, cross-save. They opened a Discord server, they got a creator program. They're going above and beyond because I think they recognize these things as well in just the current gaming landscape, one, but two, in this landscape centered around a MOBA game as well. So moving on from that, KDG said it's fire. Here we go with the next one. I'm not going to pronounce it. Every time I try, I'm not going to try it again. You never let me know, so I'm not going to bother. Anyway, fun. But having like 20 hours into the beta before this just feels the same. IDK, how long I can keep playing with all the matches being like each other there. There needs to be items and builds. Cards aren't enough. Bigger map, more objectives, and less restrictive team compositions. Okay, so yeah, I was right about the item leveling. But yeah, like I said, most people feel like this game doesn't have enough to it. That's the main sentiment I've seen, is that there is not enough to it. And he's saying here that, you know, most of the matches feel like each other. You can play it for as long as you want. And I did see people say that they put a lot of time into the previous beta, and the game isn't all that different. You know, the fun thing about that is that I can't really say what I want to say because that's NDA stuff, but I've experienced Gekishin Squadra or Project Multi, and I can tell you that I haven't really experienced a ton of difference in it. In my various times experiencing the game, I haven't seen much difference. So that tells me that it's probably mostly ready to go. Like they're just, you know, doing some balancing, tweaking, maybe adding some modes. Like, I mean, this time they came back with the Gekishin burst, like some of that stuff on the side. But I mean, for the most part, the game is what it is. Could it use bigger maps? Sure. I'm sure they will add some of those at some point. More objectives, less restrictive team comps. I think those are viable things. I think they will get around to adding that stuff at some point as well. But for sure, I think, again, lack of customization, lack of control is one thing people are upset about. I'm gonna just sit on it and wait for a player base to develop some universal MOBA mechanics and game sense. This ain't my first MOBA, and I know how frustrating some games can get. Yeah, I responded to that. If you want to see my reply, pause it, read it. Is it a gotcha? Apparently not. Apparently you have to get the emotes, costumes, etc., and characters are unlocked naturally. So that's pretty cool. It's lame. The beta sucked. This is just going to be to try to cash in on Dragon Ball nerds. We actually had a long thread of replies, like, okay, like 5 or 6. But I said that I think that first part's subjective, but isn't that what all merch and gaming products is? Just to cash in on people that are fans of the series. Can't play it. It doesn't load. Liking it a lot. AFK bros make us the worst experience ever. Speaking of experience, if you want a better experience than your friends being AFK, make sure you check out my new channel linked down below in the description, where I make content on Sonic mobile games, and I'm going to be doing videos on Sonic Crossworlds. I'll leave that down below in the description. Check it out. All right. I like it. It's my new League mobile. Okay. High praise there. It's very fun, especially if you have previous MOBA experience. Correct. I actually really like it a lot. Can't wait for the full release. Although only complaint is people don't really know what to do, and it shows. But seeing as that's how it was with Unite, since that was my first MOBA, I can empathize. Yeah, like I said, I think that's just gonna be, there's a transition period. Like, it's gonna take some time for people to get really used to it. It's the best game ever if you assume you're gonna play it once per week. Otherwise, it's way too redundant to me. Okay, well, if you're gonna use it as a game similar to like how Goresh was saying, where you just kind of pivot to it when you're bored and you just log in, play a couple rounds, that's fine. Like that makes sense. That actually became, before I stopped playing entirely, just because I had way too many games, I was playing Unite a lot. Like, I used to love my boy Blastoise. He was so fun. But then ultimately it became a game where I would just log in when I was done with all my other stuff and I didn't really have anything to do. I was kind of bored, needed to switch it up a little bit, would play a couple games here or there. My one thing about MOBAs, sometimes this game isn't really like gonna have that so much, but I just don't like when games take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to complete a match. Like, I just don't like that, because I do so much gaming on mobile, right? Like on my phone. So I just don't like it. So for me, Unite kind of turned into that. So I can understand that if that's the logic that you're going to apply to this game as well. If it's a game that people are going to just check out. You know, for me, I want to make videos on it because I want to get a Dragon Ball game back in my rotation. So for a peek behind the curtain, I am probably, I don't want to say pivoting away from solo leveling, but I'll keep doing solo leveling. It's been fun for me. They've got that secondary game coming up as well. I'll cover that a little bit as well. But I'm really interested in adding a Dragon Ball game back to my rotation. I don't want to do the older ones. I've already got thousands of videos on the other ones. I don't want to do that, but I'm interested in that. I'm also interested in the Persona mobile PC game coming out as well. Seven Deadly Sins coming out as well sometime in the next couple of months. Like, I have several things that I want to kind of do on the channel, and I would like to do Project Multi, but you know, I think about it, like, I don't think this game is going to have the high peaks of the other two games at all. I think the player base is going to be super duper niche. I think this game will be super niche. And like I said earlier, I think that they know that, which is why they've done all these other things. They've never made a Discord server for a Dragon Ball game before. Like, they know all this stuff, right? They've never had a creator program for a Dragon Ball game before. All they've had is, you know, secret stuff. Anyway, so yeah, like, I don't know if it'll have the same peaks. I don't know that they're even expecting it to, because it's not like it's an actual gacha game, right? And so for a content creation piece, like, I do want to play it, but I'm thinking of, like, I would be playing much more than that. I'd be trying to get people to play with me much more than just once a week. I play on Xbox, so what? It's not available on Xbox? Isn't that why? Okay, why would you own an Xbox? That's a legitimate question, because it seems like everything is not available on Xbox. I don't get it. Like, I know they have their own exclusives too, but I don't get it. It seems like everything isn't available on Xbox. I haven't owned an Xbox since the original Xbox. So I got that secondhand. Yeah, well, I was a kid, but you know, I got it secondhand. It wasn't originally for me, but the fact that you can use a controller on Android is awesome. That is a given. If this game did not have controller support, despite having a PC port as well on Android, like if they didn't have that, that would be stupid as hell. If a game has controls already designed to work, and the way that people use controllers often on mobile phones, if that didn't have that, then yeah, like I'm not surprised about it, but it is cool. Gets boring very fast. They have to add a lot. Played a match with Zamasu, already found my main. Also support, you already know I had to cop Krillin. Hashtag Krillin it. I feel like I want it to last more than 4 days. That's how I feel like. Give me a week. Okay. Haven't played it since the beta, but is it any different? Not from what I've experienced. It seems mostly the same. I like the update from the beta, especially no Great Ape. We just need to do something about the bots. I feel like I run into a lot or have them on my team, and it's basically an auto L. Are you sure those are bots? I don't know that those are bots. I think those are actually players that might as well be bots. Like, I'm dead serious. I think those are actually players most of the time. I don't think I'm running into bots most of the time, but maybe there's some tells. You know, typically the bots in games do have tells. Maybe there's some tells that I'm not aware of. No items equals bad. Doesn't look like my kind of game, but the outfit selections look heat. More customization like any other Dragon Ball game will be awesome. They straight up copy and paste to Unite. This game is going to be very casual if they keep it that way. Okay, so I've seen people say this too. I guess people aren't aware that Unite is not the first MOBA. Like, here's the thing. This game is very different from Unite in the MOBA landscape, right? But a lot of the difference is in the flashiness, the Dragon Ball flashiness, like the big beam attacks, the zoom ins and all that stuff. Like Unite has just a little bit of that, at least the last time I played it. But they're not doing all these close-ups and all that stuff of your Pokemon. They're not doing all that. So like, it's different. It is different, right? And they've got all these mechanics, you know, the Zenos and stuff like that. That's pretty unique, I would say. But at the end of the day, it's a MOBA game. Like, you know, that's like saying like these arena fighters, you know, they're at the end of the day, they're all arena fighters, you know, like, I don't know. They all have the same core gameplay. Waste of time. Bandit needs to put the next Naruto mobile game in the bag instead of churning out more DB slop. What type of DB fan is moving from Dokkan Legend to Gekishin Squadra? What type of mobile player is moving from literally any other to Gekishin Squadra? So you don't have to move. I don't know where the you have to move comes from. We saw this a lot when Legends came out. Exact same sentiment. People were like, nah, nobody likes this. Nobody's gonna like it. Like I said earlier, I don't think Gekishin will have the same peak. I just don't. It's not going to come anywhere near it because it doesn't have the dopamine of a gacha system, apparently. Like, and I think that's going to really hold it back in terms of that. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not every game needs to be a freaking gacha game, right? But on that topic, you can keep all 3 games installed on your phone. I don't know why you wouldn't be able to. You can still play all 3 games on your phone if you want to. Like, I don't know why. And then Gekishin is available on everything. You could play it on anything. And then in terms of the other piece, what type of MOBA player is moving from literally any other MOBA? People that want to play with Dragon Ball characters. I think that's it, right? Like, I think that's pretty straightforward. That's like a no-brainer. Seriously. I love it. Feels like it's fun till a point. Then there's like, no matter what, winning is just impossible. I'm still playing it, trying to figure out. But yeah, it's fun. It's not. Until it's not, then it's really not fun. Yeah, it's not fun to lose. Gas, no. Game needs items ASAP. Also, taking the Dragon Ball after destroying the towers is way too easy to the point that you might as well just throw the towel in when that happens. Yeah, I had a game earlier where they destroyed our towers. We held them off for a little bit, but couldn't make the comeback because they basically one-tapped the Dragon Ball. So, you know, but yeah, I think that's fair. Needed this. What Sparking Zero should have been? A MOBA game? I assume he means stuff like this, the customization. Now, here's the thing. The Sparking Zero thing is interesting because everybody's like sharing around the shop images from Gekishin, and it's these, and you see them a little, or actually this whole page is them. They've got regular costumes and they got these shiny costumes that you're seeing here, which look kind of, I don't know. Anyway, that Pimp Krillin one is nasty. Like that Krillin with the red is disgustingly drippy. That is amazing. Anyway, maybe I'm biased, but you know, people are sending this around. I think one thing to remember is that this is the selling point for this game. This is quite literally this game's selling point, is you can do stuff like this that you can't do elsewhere. So while they could and really should have put more of customization into Sparking Zero, I'd have to imagine that they purposely didn't. Hear me, I'd have to imagine they purposely didn't push it to the degree that this game will have access to. This game is gonna blow your mind with customization. Why? Because it's this game's main selling point, or one of the several main selling points. It's their moneymaker. Like, that's what this game is. So with that being the case, and with it being a gacha game that's going to get updated every couple weeks, I mean, you're going to look back at this game a couple years from now and it's not going to be close. Like, the customization is not going to be close to Sparking Zero. You're going to look at Sparking Zero and be so disappointed. But while Sparking Zero, I think, has a lot of criticism, and I think a lot of it's fair, I don't know that you should be comparing it to this specifically. I just think that's a little bit unfair, because this game is just set up to do this. This is what this game is. Now, was customization also a selling point for Sparking Zero? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that Sparking Zero, most of their development time went into developing all those characters from scratch. And so what you got was probably a half-baked game, you know? Could have probably stayed in the oven another year or two, right? But, you know, people went out and were excited and bought it. I don't remember Xenoverse 1 fondly. Personally, I thought it was fun at first playing it. Like, all the games are fun when you play them for the first time, or the first like handful of times, 10 times, whatever. Eventually they wear on you. But, you know, the point is that I think you need to be looking towards Sparking Zero 2. That's going to be the real game. That's going to be the real game, because they're going to take the stuff that they already made here, and it's going to be the same exact look and all that stuff. And that's perfect, because that means they don't got to change nothing. They can spend the entire time developing and coming up on the shortcomings of Sparking Zero. So that's it. But I don't think that's fair. Like I said, can you load the game? I can't. Team members suck. Show spam. Kind of an L. It's not a Genshin update. Love the game. Gives me a break from constant BS on Legends, Dokkan, and the abomination that's Sparking Zero. Something needs to be done about people AFKing. Super irritating when you're forced to lose because it's a 3v4. That is fair. And the game's amazing, to be honest. So, okay. Well, that's everything. We actually got to all but one comment. So I'm excited about that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video while we reacted live to the community's reaction to my post about Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Gekishin Squadra. And if you guys have anything else to add to anything I talked about in this video, once again, make sure you do leave it in the comments down below. Make sure you check out through the description my new channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you guys are interested in my reaction to Gekishin Squadra, the video is up on the screen right now. Make sure you click it before you go, and I'll see you over there.